Guys, I have Connor Brown post-fight interview. Connor had an amazing performance, and we're going to get to a part that many of us didn't see. But before we get to that part, Connor, tell me about your feeling after the weigh-ins, after we did the first interview. What did you do those 24 hours?
I ended up cutting from 177 to 57 to make this fight. It's fighting at 160, but I came in at 157. But I mean, I felt good. I had a nutritionist throughout the entire camp. I was still eating properly, maintaining because food's health, and I learned how to properly and safely cut, so I'm not coming into a fight like malnourished, dehydrated, like causing greater risk to myself that I should be really offering up, especially at like the amateur level, right? So I weighed in. I felt good. I remember I was the first interview with you, so I was still pretty like trying to wake up because like I was so dehydrated. Still was waiting for the electrolytes to kick in. But other than that, I felt good. I drove home. I slept a lot, and then I just put a lot of healthy carbs back into myself. Like in those 24 hours, just drank a lot more fluids again, and munched on some dark chocolate all the way up until the fight. And so, yeah, I kind of just listened a lot more to my coaches and people guiding me that have already been through this, and just completely relying on their word to, teach me how to effectively and like safely be able to fight and like keep myself like okay.
Shout out dark chocolate. I'm a big chocolate fan too. So
So
get a
good.
little bit of the antioxidants, get a little bit of the caffeine, right? Let's talk about obvious. First of all, shout out you drive almost 2 hours to the venue. So shout out that commitment. So you get in your car, you're gonna drive to the fight. What's the feeling in your mind?
It's such a hard one just because like, be like everyone will ask like, like why would you fight? Or like, are you ever scared? And every time I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, hell yeah, you're scared. Like, but you hear that all the way up until like the highest form of like competition. You're always scared. I mean, it's still violence in a degree. It's scary every single time because it's the unknown. You don't know what's gonna happen. All you know is you're meeting someone that you've never even met. Your first time you're meeting them is you're supposed to, enforce, like pain and like judgment on them. So I'm like, this is scary every single time. But this time I wasn't really as scared. I just kind of went in, and thanks to like my military mindset, I kind of had that mindset of flip the switch, just kind of get used to the like it is what it is. Like you're about to go to fight, like just make peace with it and just go do it. So I kind of kept my nerves in check a lot for this one. I remember just stay calm, just no reason to gas myself out, make like mistakes, freak out. Like I've been here before, like let's act like it. So other than that, I mean, I was good. I was happy to fight again. Last time I fought was in June, so I was just happy to finally be on a card representing Kings.
You were not the first fight, right? So were you able to see the fighters return, the fighters that came before you return, or not really?
Yeah, yeah. So we all sit. So like anyone on the card that's in red corner, they get put in their respective area, and then I was in blue corner. So all the fighters that were fighting out of blue that night, we all got put into like their theater room, and it was like where we got ready, got warmed up, whatnot. And so yeah, like that adds to it because like you'll see the first guy go out, and I was the fifth fight, right, out of like 15. So I was remote relatively like early in the night. So I was like, okay, I'm fighting a lot sooner than these guys. Like, oh man, that's when the nerves kick in. And you see like the first couple guys come back and like whether they win or lost, but everyone kind of like has some sort of injury on them. So that plays a huge psychological game, realizing that no matter what you do in this, like fighting's fighting. You always get hurt. Like there's always something that's going to happen, right? Like, but that's like where the heart and the willpower comes in. Why it's such a respectable sport is because not the typical human will want to do this and like make it a common venture, right? So yeah, it was scary, but I looked forward to it and realized I was fifth. I just listened to music in my head, just calm myself down and told myself it's gonna happen either way. Like, let's just get it on.
What was the music you were listening to in your head?
So I listened to a lot of like different music, but this time I listened to like a lot of like Tupac, like old school Tupac, a lot of school like old school like Eminem, and then right before I walked out, I remember like Annie Up came on when I was like getting my hands wrapped, and I was like, "That's my walkout." So I had to run out and be like, "Hey, like, can I choose like the song?" That's when I came to find you, And yeah, that's how I ended up choosing Annie up for that night. I didn't know if I was gonna choose it, but I heard it and I was like, yeah, this seems like it.
And being blue corner, you walked out after red corner. So tell me about that process. When red corner walked out, were you able to get a glimpse, or it was more like you walked out, got to the ring, and then you saw red corner?
No, so it's kind of awkward just because like in that aspect, like fight cards are weird, right? Like people don't realize it. It's really awkward. Like it's tense the entire time you show up as a fighter. Like it's tense the entire time from the moment you show up to like after you fight. After that, the nerves kind of leave. But originally, when I showed up, I was scheduled for red corner actually, and so there was like a mix up, and then like after a couple hours there, they were like, "Hey, like you're actually blue corner," and I was kind of like, "Okay," but like our names on the sheets were still opposite, and so man, I hope like the damn judges know like there's a mix up, so they don't realize my name's like I'm not Nicholas, like, and he's not Connor, like damn, like let's not do that. And so after the fourth fight happened, I just got all my gear on, and I was the fifth fight. I'm waiting in the chute of where I would go out to get called. And next thing you know, they come back and like Xavier runs back and he's like, "Hey, they're gonna take like a 15-minute intermission." And I'm like, "Oh my god, of course!" Like of all these nerves up, and now I gotta wait 15 more minutes. I'm like, "Oh man!" And so I'm waiting. All of a sudden, I see Nicholas and his team come out, and they're like just right in front of us, just waiting in the chute. And I'm standing with my two guys, Gabe and Johnny, and we're all just both our teams are just standing in the chute. So it's kind of awkward just because like you're about to fight this dude, but like neither team will kind of look at each other. No one says anything to each other. You just stand there like a warrior. It's like gladiators, right? You stand there in the chute. You don't say anything. You just know it's about to happen. So it's kind of awkward in that aspect because like we know we each other are nearby, but we're not saying anything to each other. But no, it was cool. It's a cool feeling just because it's like it makes you feel alive, right?
And from my perspective, I definitely didn't know there was going to be a break either. So when the break got announced, I also was very surprised. So I can only imagine what Connor and Nicholas felt, especially they're sort of standing next to each other getting ready.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes, we're just standing there, and I can kind of like he didn't look up. I wasn't looking up. I was like, man, this is awkward. Now we're both just standing here, like.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have a little bit of like an adrenaline dump because of that whole like
No, so that's like that's where the part comes in of like learning how to control your emotions. Like I don't let the adrenaline hit till like the first bell rings, right? Like so I know that at that point there's like no pulling out, there's nothing that can interfere. It's literally just you and this other dude across from me, right? Like and then the ref's only a safety measure, right? Like but even then they don't watch everything. Like they don't see everything. They don't like they're just there to make sure it doesn't go too far technically. Like unless you get like UFC one championship level refs, like the amateur game, like the refs probably aren't as attentive nor have as much experience, so they're not going to catch a lot of things that maybe should be caught, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, the adrenaline dump came after the bell rang, but I remember thinking to myself for like the intermission of like, wow, bro, this always happens to me. Like there's always something happens right before I'm supposed to fight that now I have to wait like 10, 20 more minutes. And then I just start going like twitching because I'm like, come on, man. Like,
So let's talk about when you finally got to walk out. What did it feel like? Did you hear the music we played?
yeah. So,
Okay.
so I mean, I heard it, but like in that moment, you're so like you're thinking about everything else under the sun except like what's going on around you. Like,
Yeah.
don't think about the people you're walking by, like that's cheering. You don't think about like the song you even chose. Like, but like I remember hearing it for a moment, and like it kind of amped me up. Like it was like right when I stepped onto the ring. It was like saying like like take rings off and like bracelets and stuff, and I was like, yeah, okay, and and so then my adrenaline started kicking in because I realized, all right, it's go time. Like let's get it on, you know.
So let's go ahead and talk about round one. And this is, if you guys watched the commentary, me and co-commentator Paul, we were at the wrong angle, so we didn't see what happened to Connor's eye. But Connor later, and I'm going to put the footage when I edit it here so you guys can see. But Connor ate a knee that was just at the wrong perspective to the commentators and the ref in the ring. So tell me about that.
Oh no, so that's the thing. Like it was the wrong angle to you guys, but I mean, so so round one kicks off, right?
Yeah.
And I found out after too, but like the first kick I ate from Nicholas, I was like, this guy has to be a soccer player. Like the first kick that landed, I remember thinking, oh my God, that stung. And I found out after the fight, actually, yeah, he's like, you grew up playing soccer his whole life. And we started laughing, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like his kick stung, right? So I remember he blasted me with the first kick. I'm kind of like, okay. And then he comes in for like to throw a couple knees, gets me in kind of like a weird clinch, but I'm just like a little bit taller than him, so his clinch was a little bit higher. And so as I'm kind of slipping out of it, because his grip was really high on the top of my like parietal like ridge, it was like the top part of the head, right? Um, I just kind of dipped my head just to kind of pop it down. I wasn't even bent over, but I remember feeling like the pressure of his pull and then seeing him step and angle his knee up. And I didn't even see it. I just remember feeling the pull, hearing the pop, feeling the crack, and then my eyesight going like loopy. And I remember thinking like, okay, like he didn't just hit me. Like, what was that? Like I didn't get kicked. But then it clicked. I was like, that had to have been a knee. And so that's why in the video I started shaking my head after, because like my right eye, it was like foggy. And I was like, okay, that's not good. But luckily, as soon as it came back, I seen his front kick. And so I just kind of like parried, caught his jab, and then blocked his cross. And so I was like, okay, at least I just parried the next three shots, because if I would have eaten any one of those and then would have like maybe got a knockdown or saw I was hurt, now nobody knew that I just got rocked by a knee to the cranium. It was like they would have thought, oh, he just got hit in one of these aftershots. Like that's what knocked him down. Like it wasn't the knee to the skull that somehow everybody missed. But like you guys, where you guys were sitting, I can see why you missed it, because like my back was vertical to you guys. Like you just saw me get sprung back up and then start kind of, so you saw the after effect. But then the ref, you look in the video, he's completely to the left in Nicholas's corner at the time, which is completely like parallel to where the knee happened. I'm like, where were you looking? Like if you're standing directly facing where the bridge meets of the knee to face, I was like, where were you? What were you doing? And so, but in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna make a complaint and be like, ref, like, what was that? Like, it's a fight, you know. Like Nicholas probably didn't mean to do it. It is what it is. Like, especially when the fight kicks off, you're just ready to go. So he probably didn't know. He probably didn't feel much, but I felt everything. And ultimately, it is up on the is up to the ref to see that, especially from where he was standing. But you know, I just like I wouldn't make a complaint about it, but for like the possibility of a future fighter, just in case maybe one lands a little bit heavier, maybe causes a cut or something, like it could be prevented. Like that was should have been an easy call, you know. It is, but it is what it is, you know. But first round, after that, man, he had energy. He had a lot of energy. He had a lot of strength behind those shots. But that was my actual game plan when I first did my first interview with you. Told you my game plan. I can't exactly say it, but I knew because I watched the interview he did with you after his weigh-in, after I left. I was laying in bed and I wanted to check it. I was curious to see what he said. And I saw how his plan was to end me in the first round, right?
Oh.
Nicholas, I see you, bro. And I know I saw how he wanted to end me in the first round. And so I don't know, something made my head twitch with that one. I remember thinking like, does he have no idea? Like, he has no idea where like what I've been through in this earth? Like nothing, no idea. And so I was like, all right, like I know he's gonna come out hot and heavy. Like, you know, like he wants to end me in round one. He just told me what he's gonna do. So he comes out and yeah, he was trying. He was hitting me the a lot of the shots. Man, they stung, they hurt. But I was like, I know if I can get him to swing enough and I can answer back with a few shots to let him know I'm still here, but I'm still active to the judges, I can gas him out. And so what happens 30 seconds into round two, his hands start dropping, right? And so that's when I kind of start walking him down casually, throwing like little like single sniper shots. And then I think it was like a minute into round two, I did a little like switch kick feint, came back, and I realized, okay, he's starting to get a little bit slow with his responses. So I pumped the jab. He pumped his back, but right when he pumped his, it was already out of his sight. So I threw my right cross right down the middle. And I remember it hit him just right in the jaw, and like it just whipped, and he kind of fell against the ropes and wrapped around. And right there, my brain clicked. Like, okay, he's getting less reactive. Like he gassed himself out. And so the rest of the round two, the whole last minute, I just walked him down and just started like hitting him with open shots, distinctive shots, so that the judges were seeing that there was no exchange. Like I'm just picking him apart at this point, right? And then we go to the third round, and I'm sitting in the corner, and I'm like, yeah, he's tired. Like, and, my coach Gabe is like, hey, like, he's like, we know he got round one. Like, it's up in the air for round two because you both like were putting in work. He was like third round, you got to do something here. And I was like, okay. So I kind of lit me up. And so at the start of round three is when I started throwing like jab, like heavy body shots, hard like front kicks that were like blasting him back against the rope, like kicking the leg to the point where he's buckling now. And, I'm hitting him with all these shots, like dissecting him, like metaphorically. And I don't know. I thought I did enough to get the comeback for it, but it is what it is. After fighting through the knee, I was like, I got to do something here to like make this worth it. Like, but it is what it is, like Nicholas, he's a cool dude. I talked to him after, and, thanks for my service. We talked about that. And yeah, he even told me he got nervous after he started gassing out in round two. He said he got scared because he realized, like, oh my God, like this dude's like going to kill me. And that was my plan, is to gas him out. And I knew if I could eat his heavy shots and make him tired, I was like, this is what I like to do. I like to walk people down. So I was like, if I can get you tired, I'm going to stand in front of you and I'm going to make you like paranoid the entire time.
Interesting kind of thing in the amateur circuit, especially because there is a tendency in the amateur circuit for people to want to get that great show, that knockdown, or even a knockout that first round, right? So a lot of times in amateur fights, both sides go all out the first round. But what's cool about this promotion, this venue, is that we had a lot of examples of one guy really trying to blitz in, the other guy being like, no, I'm in this for the long game. So we had a few fights like that, and yours was definitely a clash of mentalities like that.
Yeah, no, I could tell, but I kind of expected that, just because I never met anyone out of American Top Team, but I've known, like, it's obviously one of the biggest names in Florida, right? Probably the U.S. when it comes to like any like combat. A lot of American Top Team like fighters come out. That's just what they are. And let alone being my like first kickboxing fight, right? Like, I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun. Like, I know it's gonna be, I'm not gonna get some chump. Like, there's no way out of a top team. Like, there's no way. But that's the thing with Kings, is that's why I love the gym I fight out of, is because we make a lot of guys that we're tough dudes, like just tough ass dudes. Like, and that's why I like training where I fight out of, because they kind of, people you train with where I fight out of the Kings, they want you to do better. They want you to be tougher. They want you to learn. Like we never stop pushing each other. Like, it's always work. It's always work. It's always respect. But you don't allow any weakness. You don't allow any sort of like, hey, good, you're doing such a good job, pat on the back all the time. That's not who we are. Like, you show up, you put in the work, you'll be commended for it later. And that's just kind of how we are. And that's why Xavier, and like, even I was walking through the crowd, people were kind of like grabbing my wrist to stop me, tell me like, hey man, like that was a sick fight, like banger of a fight. People saying, like, where do you fight out of? And so it's kind of cool, because I'm like I want people to realize what Kings is, like, out of Stewart, and like realize that we make warriors. Like, that's ultimately what we are, like, but it was cool too, just because like how much people were like, hey, like, we thought you won, like, and it is what it is. I just kept telling everybody that same thing. It is what it is. Like, I'm not the judge. I'm only the fighter. I'm only the one in the ring. It doesn't. I don't matter. But
And you had also a teammate that fought right on the card.
No, that's the downside. So Ben Dortilis, he was supposed to be on the card with me, but at the weigh-ins, we both showed up to weigh-ins. His first opponent pulled out. Some guy named Jaden, he got injured apparently, and so they tried to give him a new opponent. But when he showed up on weigh-ins, Ben was told they're fighting at 50, right? So Ben shows up, weighs in, and he's at 140, 148, 147. So he's already there. His opponent shows up, and he's like 150, 158, something like that. And so apparently somebody told him that he was fighting at 155, right? So there was obviously that miscommunication, and so both teams just kind of were like, "Oh, that's a little bit too. That's a big difference. Like, that's a very large gap difference, especially when it comes to like height and weight. Like, Ben was the shorter fighter at the time too, so it's kind of like now you're not only taller, but you're going to be heavier, stockier. Like overall, just it's going to be a disadvantage, right? And so they ended up not fighting, so it just became me for Kings on the card. And that added a whole nother level of like the anxiety aspects. I remember like thinking, oh man, like I'm dealing with fighting for my gym tonight. Now I gotta do good. I gotta make a show of some sort. And that's why the second round I just kicked it up. And I remember started walking him down and realizing now I gotta walk him down the rest of the fight. Like I have to make this distinct that he's gassed out. I am the fresher fighter. Like if it goes to a fourth round, you know who would win this victory, right? Like, but I did everything I could. But Nicholas got his hand raised. I was actually pretty shocked about that. But it is what it is, you know. And it was funny seeing like the clips after. See, I'd see like people in the crowd and like their faces, and like I saw like a couple, like a few people, right when they're about to announce the winner, like go to point at me, and then when they raise the other hand, they kind of like their faces were all shocked. So I was kind of like, all right, so I like it was a good fight. That's how you know people are confused. So, but no, nothing but respect to Nicholas. I mean, it was a fun fight, you know. Like I was glad we got to do something like that for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. How long did you talk to him after?
Oh man, so I talked to him when we were both getting seen by medical. My knee was pretty destroyed. He ended up splitting my shin open with one of his kicks, and
Ooh.
so yeah, he kicked hard. But he told me my hands after were so heavy. Like we traded off. He just kicked me hard a lot, and I hit him harder. Like you know, we talked for a little bit after. He asked me if I was in the service. He said that someone told him that, and then just how long we've been training, to the sports we did growing up, and we talked for a good like probably 10, 15 minutes. Got each other on Instagram, you know, like just kind of bullshitted, and then yeah, just walked away, and I went to go pack and start my 2 hour drive back home.
Wow. You drove with your two guys, right? You guys drove together?
No, I drove by myself. They
Oh
just met me
wow.
here. Yeah. So, but that's the thing. I, I have no issue being alone. You know, I
Hmm.
like, I like, I like being me. And so I actually ended up just driving myself. They met me here, but you know, Johnny and Gabe, like, love them both to death. You know, they've always been there for me since I started at Kings. You know, head coach Skyler, he's always taking care of us and looks out for our best interests. And you know, there's really no other gym I could be imagining fighting out of, especially in Florida.
Yeah. I love that you explained sort of after the venue stuff. It's like stuff audiences don't think about because it's like, yeah, like you're not the only fighter that drives home. Like a lot of fighters drive by themselves home, and it's like one of those, it's almost like a there should be like a documentary or a movie about like the journey home. Like that would be interesting. Maybe that's something I do in the future. Just like follow fighters after the fight, like that first 24 hours after the fight. I think that's so interesting.
Oh, you want to know what's worse too is like, well, I was at the venue all day and all night, and my phone from driving 2 hours was already like dying. So and obviously I'm getting ready for a fight, so I'm not charging it. So after the fight, my phone's at like 20%, and I have like a 2 hour drive home, and then my music wasn't even working. So I'm sitting on this quiet drive home, like 2 hours back to Port St. Lucie, and I'm just sitting there, just by myself, and just like processing life. I'm like, man. I'm like, how the fuck did I not win that? Like all like the worst things start happening, and I'm like, oh man, like
Obviously, the doctor checked you up. You're okay. So there wasn't any thoughts about, oh my God, am I like damaged somewhere? Like you didn't have any of those thoughts, right?
no, I mean, even if it was, I mean, it's a fight. You're gonna get injured. You're gonna
Yeah.
get worse, maybe some than others. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, no, just my knee. I had a previous injury on my lead leg before my last fight. I got it messed up in a hard spar with a guy that weighed a lot more than me. Kicked me in the knee, and it healed. But after receiving those kicks from Nicholas and the capacity he throws them things, yeah, they connected and they hurt. But that's why eventually I started checking a lot of his kicks. I started drilling his legs, and like the end of the whole third, I was just whipping his legs. If you like could see, I was like hunting him down, just heavy shots, body shot, and then like leg kick. And so I know he's hurting too, preferably his head. But no, it's good now. It's still pretty black and purple, but it's that's part of the game. Now just make it stronger, get back to it.
Yeah. And what do you think is next for you in your fight game?
So next, I'm planning on fighting in January. Except now I'm going to be fighting at 155 since I fought at 160. Um, I just think that's where I'll be at my best, like class wise. You know, I'll be a big 155er. But I think how I fight would be good for that class as well, just because I'm more of like the brute mentality. Like I'll stand in front of you and like I will ruin your mentality, realizing you cannot break me down. And then when you realize that now you're tired and I'm still the exact same way in front of you, now you're freaking out because you're like, oh my God. like I'm tired and he's not feeling anything. And so now it's, my turn. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm fighting hopefully in January. We're trying to get a card where we can get multiple Kings fighters on. It's been a while since we've had like a few of us be on the same card. So we're trying to get a few of us on for January, but we're trying to figure out what's next for it.
Mhm.
Preferably, I would like to get more fighters out of Kings for Hurricane, just because we have a lot of like gnarly talent, a lot of guys that like we're fun to watch. There's anything about Kings, we're always gonna be entertaining to watch. Like we're always like gonna fight.
Mhm.
So yeah, 155 is my next move down.
Are most of the people at King's Muay Thai competitive, or is it a mix of people?
So it's like predominantly Muay Thai, but we take kickboxing fights just because it's good to get the experience, like just overall, especially in like the amateur game. So if you fight Muay Thai, then we fight kickboxing as well. Occasionally, someone will get like a boxing. We have a couple of guys that train at Kings that do MMA, but they're not strictly fighting out of Kings necessarily. Um, like Skylar doesn't coach MMA. He will only come to like Muay Thai or kickboxing bouts. But yeah, we're predominantly Muay Thai.
I would love to talk more about your military service if you're down to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how long were you serving?
So when I was 17, I wanted to leave my hometown. I grew up in a small town in Colorado, like small town, right? And I was like, I'm not dishwashing the rest of my life, so I wanted to go do something. And so went to the recruiting office like an hour away, signed up with the Marine recruiter, went infantry, and then shipped out like 2 months after I graduated high school. Went to boot camp in California, and I spent 4 years total in the infantry between first LAR and then First Battalion, Fifth Marines. Um, got out when I was just about to turn 23, actually. And then from there, I did what everyone told me to do. Oh, you go to college. Like, that's what you're supposed to do when you do the military. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll go do that because I don't know what else to do. And so went to college at Scottsdale Community for like a little while. Realized I hated school just as much as I did before. Dropped out of that. Next thing you know, I moved to St. Petersburg for like a couple years. Went to travel overseas for the last couple years, just different countries. Moved back here to Port St. Lucie this past year, and then found Kings like right when I moved here. And I just started training for the past year, and then now this is my second fight for Kings. But the military ultimately, like, it was kind of my gateway of combat sports, like grappling to like striking to just having that overall primal mentality. So I learned how to like stay calm under crazy chaos, like stress induced situations. Um, Kind of just having like a thick skin, like thick mentality, just like a warrior mentality. That's just what it is. Just be a man. Like be a man, do your job, show what you're supposed to do, and like everything will go smoothly. That's all like what it really was. And I met a lot of good guys through that, which ultimately why I love the combat sports game too is I meet a lot of people that remind me of the military as well. Like you, it's good to be surrounded by discipline, structure, or like a solid work ethic, support group. Showing up to a place where like you're actually welcome, like you feel at home when you show up to it. And whether that's a combat sports gym, whether it's fucking drinking wine and painting, like it is what it is. Like we all find our niche of the people we like to be around in this world. And mine just so happens to be people who like to punch and get punched in the face. Like, so I mean,
Exactly.
it's kind of like that for the military too. That's ultimately the same type of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because the whole going back to school thing, like I might do that soon too.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, I'm gonna go back to school, be like, man, why am I here? Like, we all have that mentality, but it's hard to shake. You could call it a little bit of societal brainwashing. It's hard
Yeah.
to shake it, man, because after not being in school for a while, I'm like, hey, maybe I can learn something in school, right? Oh, I hate that mentality.
No, because you're gonna go and you're gonna realize that everything they're teaching now has nothing to do with actually what they're supposed to be teaching, and that's why I can't do school. But that's why I'm currently in barber school is because it's not like a school, but I'm learning my own trade, my own business, right? I can't go to a regular college. I can't. I tried it 3 times. I know I can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. How far are you along in barber school?
So I'm about 6 months in. I graduate February actually. So I got about 3 months left. Yeah, 3 months.
It's
So
inspiring, man. When I went to college, there was a haircut barber school right next to campus. And part of me is like, why am I not just like learning how to cut people's hair? I freaking love people's hair anyways.
right. But
So
it's one of those professions though where it's always needed. There's always
yeah,
people need haircuts. Women need coloring, like their hair done. Dudes like to look good before they go out on a date. Like
yeah,
beard cuts, like it's a never ending profession. So to me, that's why I like doing it because I get to create my own schedule. I'm my own boss. No one's telling me shit on what to do. But it's a profession that's always needed. Like there is good money in it if you know how to run it correctly. So I want my money, I want my freedom, my own time. Like ultimately, I'm building my own legacy. And that's what I'm doing with fighting as well. Like you know,
yeah. It's funny. I don't know if you have a fighter nickname, but Connor the Barber Brown sounds like a cool nickname. You could be the barber. You know, people think of barber. Ooh, he's gonna methodically cut me, right? Like that. That's a pretty intimidating name.
you, you can get the fade inside and outside the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Connor the Barber Brown. Wow. So I think this is a good place to end the conversation. Again, it's been a pleasure talking to you. You were my first pre-fight interview, and you're my first post-fight interview. So it kind of worked out perfectly.
I'll say it's an honor to you first and post fight.
Yeah. Don't hesitate to contact me anytime. Barber stuff too. Show me some of your stuff in the future.
Absolutely.
And I've never been to your neck of the woods, but I want to travel to like the West Palm area and stuff like that. That's kind of where you are, right? That area.
So I'm over down by like Stewart, Florida. It's by like just a little bit past Jupiter.
Okay.
Like you know where Fort Pierce is?
Not really. I only know this area of Florida because this is the only place I've traveled to. Before coming down to help with Hurricane X, I've only been to Florida once in my life.
Oh shit. Okay, well, you have a lot to explore. Yeah, just honestly
Yeah.
drive all the way up and down the Treasure Coast. You'll find little towns, little ports. Like, yeah, just take like a weekend day trip up the Treasure Coast.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'll have to one day because I've been having so much fun live streaming at different gyms. So I'll have to come up, give your coach a head up. One time I'll come up and do a vertical live stream at your gym. It'll be really fun.
Hell yeah, I'll let them know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, everyone.
We just did a whole new gym, by the way. We just moved to our whole new gym. That's what we've been doing the last couple of months. It's a bigger gym, bigger space, looks completely different, but that's what we've been doing actively. So yeah.
That's awesome. How many coaches do you have?
Coach Skyler, he's Skyler Gunno. He's the head coach, but we have like 4 or 5 that actively help around. A couple of them are pro fighters for the fight team that help coach too. But yeah, we have one main coach, and then we have a bunch of assistant coaches that have been fighters for Kings.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, guys, to be continued. I will do a live stream one time, if not multiple times at Kings Muay Thai. That'll be something really fun to look forward to. And we'll meet Connor in person again next time.
Yeah.
Cool, everyone. So I will stop the recording now. Everyone, thank you for watching. If you have questions for Connor and stuff, feel free to ask.